Nemo brings a completely new dimension to the game with his ability, but that's not the only thing he brought. He brought a terribly bugged Lucky Treasury event where people were actually winning over 1 million gems for participating in this event. But of course, as many of you saw, the event was taken down for hours while they fixed it. I could only imagine the high that I would be riding, winning over 1 million gems just to have Top War take it from me a few hours later. Now, before we get to his exclusive ability, I have to roast Nemo just a little bit. He used to fight for the Dark Legion as one of their submarine commanders, but got a bit salty when his team started to lose, so he decided to switch teams, and now he fights for the Freedom League. This is definitely not the kind of guy that you want at your back when things go to hell. But since he decided to turn coat and run, we could take advantage of his exclusive ability, Prohibition Zone. There are 2 parts to this ability. The first one's simple enough. He's able to increase the attack of your Navy units by 80% at max stats. And the second part of his ability is Rage Powered. Anytime any of your units, not just Navy, attack, he gains 1 rage, and at 7 rage, his ability triggers. His ability will pick a random enemy hero and silence that hero for 3 turns. Now, this silence ability is a little bit complicated, and I will be discussing it more in depth towards the end of the video. But for now, let's check out the bonus abilities he gets as you level up his exclusive skill. At exclusive level 3, he's able to give an all-unit HP increase of 30%. At level 5, when the battle begins, he actually starts with 3 rage instead of 0, and his silence will go for 4 rounds instead of 3. At exclusive level 7, after his ability triggers, not only is your opponent silenced for 4 turns, but the attack damage of your units is increased by 80% for the following 3 rounds. That is definitely not a basic attack I want to get hit with. Now, before I show a couple battle reports so you can see his ability in action, it's important to understand his silence. His silence only works on abilities that can be triggered. So any ability that has a chance of happening after your unit's attack, any ability that happens after gaining a certain amount of rage, those are triggering abilities. However, things that give stat increases or things that happen at the beginning of the battle, he has no effect on. So for example, take Nereid. She offers an HP increase, and if you were to silence her, that HP increase still works. However, her triggering ability, that only procs on the back 2 rows, is the thing that would be silenced. So only half of her is silenced, if that makes sense. Now I'll go ahead and play a battle report so you can see how Nemo's ability works, and in the meantime, let's talk about the big question that I've seen thrown around a lot, and that is, does Nemo counter Maximo? Short answer, no, he doesn't. This is Navy against Air Force. He shouldn't be countering Maximo. You're going to lose that suppression battle, and as I mentioned, his silence only affects triggerable abilities, and Maximo still has that 150% damage decrease that he gives to the front row of Air Force units, so keep that in mind. But, I suppose, if you have a level 5 exclusive, and if you're attacking, and just if your silence happens to hit Maximo, you might have a good fight against him. But those are a lot of ifs, so I'm not going to call him a Maximo counter. Now, this is the part of the video where I like to compare the hero to the current best heroes of the branch. Unfortunately, that's very difficult to do with Nemo because he's a completely new mechanic and I really don't know how to compare them. It would be like trying to compare Nimitz and Katyusha. It just doesn't work. One increases stats, one has a triggering ability, they're in different branches. Nemo is just something completely new, so he's hard to quantify. And his ability is highly luck-based. Since his silence doesn't work on every type of hero, he has the potential to be completely wasted. If you hit a hero like Selena, or Nimitz, or Basil, someone who only does stats, he is essentially completely wasted. Or even if you get lucky and you manage to silence someone like Maximo, Maximo only triggers on the middle row, so if you silence him at the wrong point, your silence did nothing because it didn't actually cover any of the units in the middle row. Because of this highly luck-based performance from Nemo, I'm not very impressed with him because I could see things going south very quickly and having him be completely wasted. I mean, you still have the 80% attack increase to rely on, but I'm unsure if Nemo replaces anybody in the top meta. I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. I do have a list of the best heroes in my Discord. I'll put the link in the description below. And in the next few days, I will be updating it as I find out more information about Nemo and decide whether or not he replaces one of the top heroes. But for now, I'm having a very tough time saying one way or the other because again, he's highly luck-based. My server's currently in Eternal Lands, so I'm having a bit of a tough time testing him out. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of him just because of how inconsistent his ability potentially can be. So if you guys disagree, again, let me know in the comments below. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you to everybody who subscribed, and as always, have a fantastic day.